You're watching live stream. This is the one show where we want to hear from you. We want to know what you're thinking on the big story of the day. And today is, of course, this nearly 5 years after he was arrested, a self-styled godman. You've all heard of Asaram. He has a following that has involved him running some 400 ashrams around the country. There are lakhs of people who consider him their guru. But today, Asaram was sentenced to life imprisonment for raping a minor, a 16-year-old girl whose family brought her to visit his ashram in Jodhpur. The verdict was delivered inside a Jodhpur jail. Authorities decided days ago that taking Asaram to court will be a risk. Remember what happened when Ram Rahim was taken to court with his followers, and they didn't want that kind of violence perhaps being repeated again. 4 states, now imagine this, 4 states, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Gujarat were all on high alert waiting for this verdict. Happy to report that there's been peace that has been maintained by and large. I'm going to introduce my panelists to you right away. I'm going to be joined by Shipra Javekar, spokesperson for the Sanatan Sanstha, shortly. Also joining us in the Delhi studio is Bharti Ali, co-director HAQ. Thanks very much for taking our time to be with us. Before I cross to you, Bharti, let me just go across to Harsha Kumari Singh, who's joining us this evening, very latest. Harsha, you've tracked this story for the last several days and weeks, if not years. You were there today, present in court. Give us a sense of what happened there and what really was the atmosphere like.
Well, yes, like you said, I've been tracking the story right from the day when Asaram was arrested and this FIR was filed. So I really don't know where to begin. But yes, from the time the FIR was filed, it's been an atmosphere of fear, intimidation. In fact, one of the witnesses who came to depose here in the court, he was attacked. Rahul Sachan was attacked in the court, and since this case went into trial, actually 3 witnesses have been attacked. I never really got to meet the victim, but I did meet the victim's lawyer, who stuck with her right through till the Supreme Court. Asaram filed 12 bail applications. All of them were rejected. And it's been very, very tough to take on someone so powerful with so many resources. I've come here to cover bail hearings where high-profile lawyers like Jethmalani, Subramaniam Swamy have come to argue Asaram's case. And for the lawyer, there's just been this, and for the victim, there's just been this one lawyer who's not even taken fees in the case. So yes, you do come across people like that also. But today, the Rajasthan police really prepared for this case. They put the entire city of Jodhpur under a security blanket. They checked buses, they checked trains, they cordoned off the entire area. The security bandobast focused on not letting Asaram's supporters gather here, and that led to a largely peaceful day. So there was no violence or arson which they were expecting. Also, all the people who've been threatened in this case, the former SP, even the judge who started hearing this, the lawyer, and today even the judge, though he's not been threatened, this judge, but he was also given strict security because they're taking no chances at all. And this judgment was delivered in the court right here behind me. The judge took a very long time. In fact, I kept wondering when the arguments are over, why is it taking so long to deliver the judgment? And then we understood, because when the judgment came out, it is a landmark judgment. It's so strict, and I'm sure it's going to have it's going to play a huge role in the larger context of POXCO cases. The judge said that Asaram will stay inside jail, till for its life imprisonment till his last breath. So that really is the sense of the judgment, and it's really huge, this kind of a sentence in a POXCO case and for rape with a minor.
Okay, Harsha, thanks very much for joining us with all of that. I'm just going to come across to you, Sam Daniel, joining us from Chennai this evening. But Bharti, I'd just like to get you in very quickly on this. You know, Harsha making the point that this is quite landmark. Look at the punishment that we are getting. Would you agree? I mean, how significant is this?
Well, definitely landmark in the sense that people were looking forward to conviction in this case, and the family had suffered a lot. The child had suffered a lot. So in that sense, yes, it is landmark. I am personally not in favor of very stringent sentences, but that's a different matter. I don't think we need to be discussing that here. The fact is that there has been conviction. We've been asking
even in cases
for...
of, sorry, I just want to focus on that, but even in cases of minor rapes. I mean,
even in cases of minor rapes, it's not the strictness of the sentence that really matters, but conviction matters a lot to everyone. And I say that because this is Asaram Bapu's case, which was highlighted in media, but there are several other cases which never get highlighted anywhere. Right. So, you know, how are we going to fight those and ensure
so you're saying conviction
cases
alone sends out a very strong message,
yes,
that there's no getting away with it.
Yes,
so I suppose that you're not in favor of death.
Not at all.
Not in favor. Okay, that's a debate, like you're saying, for another day. Well, just one thing, Bharti, before I go across again to Sam, which is that, you know, to all those who are saying that, why are we so obsessed with self-styled government? Like, what makes India and so many of us? Because there are politicians, there are businessmen, seems to cut across, you know, the political establishment and you know, economic clout notwithstanding. And why are we still drawn to them? I mean, in recent years, we've had such a long list of people with criminal cases who, and all that has been upheld by courts.
Well, you know, there is so much stress in the society at large. And, you know, so you need to, look up to somebody who you feel will be able to help you relieve your stress. There are so many problems that people are facing, you know, and when the government schemes don't come to your rescue, the godmen come to your rescue in different ways. People do get benefits out of some, you know, joining some of these conglomerations in the sense that they will get rations, they will get health care. So there are those benefits also that attract people to these kind of associations and conglomerations. And we've got to be very, very clear about this, that people will go wherever they're getting the benefits from.
Okay, that's a good point. That, you know, there seems to be a vacuum in people's lives. So there's something missing, and that is what they're trying to sort of fill in, and perhaps promising them, you know, one step closer to salvation, or one step closer to whatever it is that they desire, really. Well, we've got our first caller of the evening. This is GL Chandwani, who's calling from Mumbai. Thanks for calling in. You want to make a point, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Yeah, see, we are all discussing all these days, entire media. Yeah. You see, we are all discussing the case of this rape case, okay? But what?
Sorry, we're losing your line there.
But I want to. Yeah, I want to bring your attention to what about the hundreds of plots, properties, and the businesses they are running. Have the government, central government, taking any action to recover the taxes, to check if they are properly acquired properties or they are...
That's a good point. It's a good point, though. As we saw in the case of Ram Rahim, the government did take over. I mean, there was like all those stashes of cash and everything else that was found. And the government had taken over all those acres and hundreds of acres of land. So there is a precedent there. But we're also, of course, now joined by Shipra Juvekar joining us from Pune. She's a spokesperson for the Sanatan Sanstha. Shipra, thanks for speaking to us. Now, the focus today has been on Asaram's conviction, his sentencing, and also on this girl's family. Her father said that he believes she's got justice and that his daughter is happy today. That the resonance of that is very significant, don't you think?
Yes, what I was speaking since morning, that one thing is very clear that whatever court has convicted Pujanya Asaram Bapu, it has earlier been also seen clearly in the case of Sadhvi Pragya Singh, whether it is Jagadguru Jayendra Saraswati ji. They were also being arrested and convicted, you know. And Sadhvi Pragya ji was tortured for 9 years and she was not given bail, and then afterwards she was acquitted. So we still hope that in case of Bapuji also, he will get justice in the higher court.
So despite all the evidence that the court has upheld, despite what the court has said today, you're still saying that that you believe in his innocence?
Yes, of course, because while seeing the work of Pujani Asaram Ji Bapu, while he distributes free medicine to the poor or arranged a poor family's marriage, or he was educating poor children also, you know. So we should see the both part of the thing, you know. Okay, he's been convicted today, but also we have to see the so much work he is doing. He has been done for the society for so many years.
Okay, so you're saying that he's got what else to show for it, but I mean, in court, there's been enough that's been substantiated. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, the lawyers have managed to prove at least this court beyond any doubt, and that is why the sentencing is what it is. I mean, are you saying that this girl's family and this father who has fought all this while is something that you disbelieve?
No, actually nothing is there to be disbelieved. Just one thing I want to ask you. Whatever happened to Saji Pragya Ji when she was arrested? Lot of crowd and lot of shouts was also made at that time also.
But what bearing do you believe that has on this case?
But when she was acquitted, no such thing was, she was falsely implicated in that case. It was proved now.
Okay, so you're saying you're still holding on to hope. Okay, I'll quickly respond to that. I mean, I suppose this is where matters of faith come in.
Yes, it is a matter of faith, but I am completely shocked at the kind of faiths we have, you know. So in one case, we want death penalty. In another case, we just don't want any action. I think we've got to get our act together and start thinking what is it that we really want. If there is a court verdict, there has been due trial, due process of law has been followed. It took 5 years. It did not happen in 2 months. So there's been a process to it, and you cannot negate that. If you're still negating it, then there's something really wrong with us. We've got to start thinking, what do we want when our young girls are being raped and sexually abused?
What do we want? Yes, of course, she's arguing that it's going to be proved that this wasn't the case, but so far, just the reverse is what is happening. I mean, there's enough there to prove to the judge clearly beyond any doubt. Well, we've got another caller. This is Rakesh calling us all the way from Perth in Australia. Rakesh, thanks for your time. I would imagine it's, what, close to midnight or more?
Well, no, it's about probably 10 p.m. or so.
Okay. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. No problem. Well, it's a very pertinent question that you have raised today. And I think there's a larger issue here, which is why we in India, we sort of follow gurus and politicians, and we follow groups of, you know, based on jati and all that. Do you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's because, you know, we as a community, as people, we feel disempowered. And so we seek solace in a group. You know, we try to be in a collective, in some sort of collective. So the solution, you have to find solutions where people should feel empowered if they are supported by a robust and a fair justice system, and it has to be timely as well, you know. So
right.
Because it's not there, so every individual is disempowered, and so they have to be behaving in a collective. And when we behave as a collective, either we follow politicians as a group, as a community group, or as a
That's a good point. I see what you're saying. Thanks very much, Rakesh. I see what you're saying. It ties in with what Bharti also was saying earlier, where the need to be part of this coalition, to be part of this collective, to perhaps derive some strength or something from it. And there are politicians there, there's the Aam Aadmi there. I mean, who isn't there? There are business people there. Everyone really is there. But I just want to ask you, I just want to go back to you, Shipra, and I just want to ask, you know, for all those of us who are writing in, and they want to know from you that, you know, you're saying that you're still holding on to hope that this will be overturned, that, you know, you have full faith in him, you're citing his work, but to all those saying that if court after court, and if, this is of course, we do not know yet, so if court after court finds that there's ample proof of this rape, then what?
First of all, ma'am, how can we say that higher courts will convict him? How can we say? It may be
no, I'm saying if. I'm saying if. I'm not saying they will, ma'am. I'm saying if. I'm saying if.
Okay.
Which means if they do and if they don't also. Yeah, sure. Carry on.
That's another. I'm just trying to say that we are also on that hope only. That if court acquits him in the higher court, if the judgment has been because he has some past experience And also repeating Sabri Pragya Ji, Jain Saraswati. What about their 9 years wasted in the prison of Sabri Pragya Ji? What we should say about that?
Okay.
So in this case also something must have been false deliberately. We can't say because we don't have got the verdict copy yet.